start this evening's program by taking a sort of a step backwards in history. We're going to be showing you some photos of people that you all know and love from their high school day. We're going to give you an opportunity to see them before next week when they will appear on the milk cartons. And you need to be kind to them. I saw these pictures the other night. Evidently, some of these people had terrible accidents between the time the pictures were taken and now. So, Mr. Rod, if you're ready, let's roll. That's Mrs. Hockey. Mrs. Park. Mrs. Bellis. She now knows how to write the right way. That's Mrs. Bollinger. That's her dad, Mr. Bollinger. That's Mrs. Boyer. Mrs. Breidinger. Take a wild guess. Who do you know would put a star in his own picture in his yearbook? Mr. Breidinger. Mr. Chris. Mrs. Taub. Mrs. Dawson. Mrs. Dorenza. Now this next one we got especially from the FBI, from the Elliott Ness file, and we need to return it to the Pottstown Library or the post office to hang back up on their wall. See if you can guess this. That's Mr. Dionisi. Makes you think his folks kept a stork and sent the baby back. That's Mrs. Ebert. That's another one that's not too hard to guess. That's Mr. Edwards. Well, we all put on a little weight. Some of these people had plastic surgery. That was a popular hairstyle at that time. That's Mr. Fisher. What's the top one? That's Mrs. Forney. She has an advantage because it wasn't that long ago. That's Mrs. Gadzicki. That's right, that's Mr. Gaines. It's a nice hairpiece, you can't even see the line. That's Mrs. Hanley. It's the only gentleman in the school has an entire department named after him, Business Ed, Mr. Hinderlight. Mrs. Holly. Two-Face. If she had another one, she wouldn't use that one. That's Mrs. Lloyd. Her younger brother, Mr. Lloyd. Let me guess that one. That's Mr. Law. And that's Mr. Miller. That's what happens when you keep yourself in shape. You don't change that much. Mr. Pearson with the long hair. Mrs. Pedrick. Mr. Pachola. That's Mr. Class. Mrs. Renner. And next we have a member of the group that was popular at that time, the Monkees. Mr. Wren. It's Mrs. Schlegel. Mrs. Shapley. It's Mrs. Shoemaker. Mrs. Steiner. Miss Vogels. Now this next one that's coming up here is a difficult one to guess. You have to remember that this was taken before he got the summer job French kissing a jackhammer. That's Mr. Wall. Mr. Warda. Mrs. Williams. Another tough one, Mrs. Wolf. And Miss Yocum. Wraps up the high school picture. He's even up.